Hello everyone, I am Dwayne and I'd like to share about the history or evolution of land transportation. The first form of transportation was of course Jamestoning, better known as the human foot. However, over time people eventually learned how to utilize animals for transport. Donkeys and horses were most likely domesticated between 4000 and 3000 BC. And camel for domestic age slightly later between 3000 and 2000 BC. Next is the wheel. The wheel was coming, which was invented in about 3500 BC with the main purpose to manufacture pottery. This led to the development of the wheel as a means of transportation, as the first carts were created with an axis and separately rotating wheels. First wheels were made of solid pieces of wood, had lashed together to form circle, but after 2000 BC, they're made with wooden spokes. During the late 16th century and early 17th century, goods were often transported by the macaque horses, and oxen-covered wagons were also used to carry goods and sometimes passengers. Transport and communications also improved in 17th century, such as royal post being used to carry the king's correspondence. However, 1635 to raise money, Charles I allowed members of the public to pay his messenger to carry letters. This was the start of the first route mail. And during the 18th century, a group of wealthy men formed turnpikes. Trust Acts of Parliament gave them to improve and maintain certain roads. Yet this means that travelers had to pay tolls to use them. First turnpikes created as early 1663 but became standardized in 18th century towards the end of century. Steam power was invented, which led to industrialization of locomotives and later train. In the mid-19th century, transport was revolutionized by railroads that may travel much faster than. They also decreased the danger of highways. The first underground railway in Britain was built in London in 1863. Steam locomotives was continued to pull with carriages into late 18th. Bicycle also emerged during the 19th century, with the first bicycle being credited to Baron Karl Trees in Germany in 1818. Odd in nature than dandy horse, as it was called, had no pedals. But by the 1960s, however, it may have evolved into the modern style of chain and pedal. Public transportation as buses and taxis were becoming more common in the cities, and motorcycles were also making a strong appearance by the 1980s and 90s. Lastly, new highways and designs were introduced, such as traffic circles and big multi-lane interstates. Let's imagine the impact of no transportation on everything in your life. Without transporting food to you, you would starve. Without transporting you to school, you would learn nothing. Without the transportation of wood, tools, workers, plywoods, etc., you wouldn't have a home or clothes or blanket, medicines, or a computer to ask questions on Google. Basically, you would be living a caveman. Transportation is the main reason for almost everything. Right now, I'm speaking through the use of my cell phone camera. If there is no transportation, I wouldn't submit my work. Anyway, I have to go. Bye bye.